Flashback did music.
Y'all sound like 100,000 people. I'm honored to be here, and I'm honored to play for you. Really need a shrink to tell me what I think, or to tell me who you are. I only hear what people say, trade all their yesterdays to sing and be a star. I don't have the heart to tell. It's not heaven, it ain't hell. It's just my therapy. It's just my there for me, that there for me guitar. Oh, my there for me guitar. Say a prayer for me. Listen reverently to my there for me guitar, yeah. Step outside the line and you're bound to find, oh, there for me, there for me, there for me guitar. My freedom bound with twine, but it comes undone from time to time. And the only peace I find is kind of just outside the line, and I find it on my there for me guitar. On my there for me guitar. Say a prayer for me guitar. Oh, my there for me guitar. Woo! Well, let's see. This song I couldn't play for a while. It's called Ground Zero, and I wrote this in the 80s. My concept of ground zero is the buck stops here. My walk with my higher power is my walk with higher power, and I've often wondered why people fought about this. As a kid, growing up in church, just wondered why people fought about this. It's the antithesis of this, is fighting.
Desperate as I want to be here at ground zero. No one speaks for me. I am right where I want to be here at ground zero. No one decides but me. They changed history, rewrote the Bible, laid down their laws for their own survival, while they're down on their knees, begging their God please to forgive them so in their own ground zero. I'm as holy as I want to be here at ground zero. No one prays if not for me. I see God in every set of eyes I see. Windows to the soul, my connection with your own ground zero. They changed history. Some king rewrote the Bible. They laid down their laws to protect their own survival. We must decide for forever. We will find ground zero together. In this hour with you I know peace at ground zero. Honor the seasons and honor yourself and honor her story. And ground zero is where ground zero, ground zero, ground zero.
Thank you. So I'm gonna do an instrumental. This is called Running. How y'all doing?
Great.
A lot better now.
I've been playing professional music since I was 14 years old. I ran away from home when I was 15. Of course, I was caught pretty quick. I had to cross an island, and the bridges is where they caught me. And they sent me out to live with my dad. My dad was going to show him how to raise me, and my dad gave me my first 12-string guitar. That was his first mistake, you know. So I ended up on the coast of California at the age of 15, and after being in New York in a rock and roll band at the age of 14, and actually making money as a 14-year-old, which was just, okay, I'm sold. I'm totally sold. You're going to pay me to do this? Okay. And it's been a long time. You know, that was 1968. And, you know, I still do Old Traffic, and with the full band, we have a good time, you know, with the old rock and roll stuff. Yeah, it's really fun. You know, I didn't graduate till I was 73, 74. I was so, like, I wanted to know what the music was going on. You know, you could go into a bar. If you didn't drink, you could go into a bar, and that's where where the music was. It was always in a bar. And at 15 years old, you know, 14 years old, 15, if I was in the band, I could come in. If I didn't go up to the bar and ask for a drink, I could come in. You know, you could come in. You just couldn't ask for a drink if you were underage. And I didn't care about drinking. I just wanted to hear what was going on. You know, the only people that were against this were my family, of course. You know, they didn't want me hanging out in bars, and I totally understand that. You know, at 15 years old, totally understand that. But that's where it was happening. That was the rub, you know, that was the problem. So, as I told the high school students, I said, has anybody here ever heard of a cottage industry? And they were like, huh? And I said, well, that's something you make yourself, and you sell it yourself, and you work for yourself. And I tell you, it's going to mean that you work more hours than your 8 hours a day. Trust me. If you have passion for something, it's going to. But these kids had never heard of the concept of a cottage industry. I know, right? And I'm thinking, they need to know. I said, even if it's an app that you come up with yourself, or, you know, it's intellectual property. Is
Microsoft was a cottage industry at one time.
Right.
Apple was a cottage
So was
industry.
Apple.
you know,
There's a teeny,
Garage.
what I did was, this was such a little, tiny, small, beautiful town. It was such a great little town, this little place called Caney, Kansas. It was just these incubated, sweet souls, you know. I hipped them a little bit. You know, you have to hip them a little bit, you know. I mean, this is another song I found very, very difficult to play after 9/11. And it's so strange. I had this bent on these songs that I had just recorded. I had just flown home from Boston on 2000. It was September 9, 2001. And I flew home sitting next to one of these. I'm serious. He wouldn't move his feet. You know, it was like the 2.5 hours from Boston to Atlanta was like a struggle. It was like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? What is wrong? I'm going to have to kick his ass. I'm going to have to kick his ass.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was up all night in a studio, and I would have been asleep with my coat over my head. But I came to my seat, and he wouldn't move his feet out from like where I had to sit in my aisle. He was against the window. He wouldn't move his feet. I found out much later. This is the guy with Ada, with the wire rim glasses. You always saw Ada and this guy pictured together. He rode home with me to Atlanta on September 9, 2001, after I had just recorded Ground Zero and Tower of Babel. And I just finished it in the studio. So I went to GBI. I didn't want to call an 800 number. And I totally told them what I knew. They were like, yawn, next. Didn't matter. You know, it was like, here's a real kicker. And here's the story I need to tell and needs to be on tape. When I went to New York in March 2002 for the Allman Brothers run at the Beacon Theater, right? It was a weekend of that the lights went up for the buildings. And we went downtown, and from every newspaper receptacle, these two guys' picture, Ada and this guy named Sheehy, they were pictured in every, like, staring at me, going downtown, right? From every newspaper receptacle. And I had to get out and get a newspaper to see what the hell was going on. And their visas went through. Known hijackers. Their visas went through. And the New York Times put it out there, but it got squelched. Does it have anything to do with the song I'm going to sing? I don't know. Never left, we never learned a universal language before the code book burned. I see lips move, but nothing is said except politics, me money, me power. So say the talking heads. All we got is gossip of the ages, history and its rewritten pages. Always say that our mental cages up on the Tower of Babel. Who wants to know how we built this tower and how far down left to go? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep me in the dark, I wanna stay asleep. Silence is golden and talk is cheap. How many masters, how many lives does it take to feed the monster before it's satisfied? Listen, can't you hear the motor humming? Yeah, the countdown is up and running. Chained to a machine with so stunning. Upon the Tower of Babel. Who wants to know how I built this tower and how far down left to go? Yeah. Oh, hey. Listen, can't you hear the motor humming? Yes, the countdown is up and running. Chained to a machine with so stunning. From the Tower of Babel. Who wants to know how but this tower and how far down left to go? Oh, yeah, yeah. Thank y'all.
So what's your favorite traffic song? since you mentioned.
Thousand headmen couldn't make me change my mind. If I had to take the choice between the deaf man or the blind, I know just where my feet should go, and that's enough for me. Turned around and knocked them down and walked across the sea. I walked across the sea. Hadn't traveled very far when suddenly I saw these small ships are sailing off towards a distant shore. Lighting up a cigarette, I followed in pursuit. Found the sacred cave where they obviously stashed the loot. Obviously stashed the loot. Pockets, even stuck on my nose. Must have weighed 100 tons between my head and toes. Yeah, I've been to forth before the dawn to stop and change his mind. Saw me high above the clouds. I found the golden shrine. I found the golden shrine. Laying down my treasure before the iron gate, quickly rang the bell, hoping I hadn't come too late. Someone came along and told me not to waste my time. When I asked him who he was, he said, just look behind it. Just look behind. Turned around, 40,000 headmen hit the dirt. 5 and 20 shotguns each, man, it really hurt. Yeah, luckily for me, they had to stop, then reload. By the time they were loaded, I was headed down the road. Headed down the road. Oh, yeah. 30,000 heading couldn't make me change my mind.
Thanks. Thank you for asking for that. Thank y'all so much for coming out tonight and for being here. You honor me with your presence. Thank you so much. I'm going to cut it short. So I know we've got bad weather coming, so please be careful. I never will forget being on the road in Kansas, and it was at night, and it was raining. It was just crazy. And I looked above me, and I saw this circular wheel of lightning. It was obviously at night, it was a tornado.
Rain rat,
Right? I've never seen anything like it since or before. The lightning emanated from the middle and went like a wheel. It was like a wheel in front of me. And then on the radio, they went, in this quadrant, you need to pull off the road. And I'm like, what quadrant is that? What quadrant? And I'm watching all of the truckers around me get off the road. They're all getting off the road. And I go, okay, I'm getting off the road. And I go into this 7-Eleven place, and they're like, who behind the cow? I went, there's a tornado right outside. They're like, we're running to the coal box if there's a tornado. These people, it's right outside your door, and you don't know it. The weather tonight is very scary. Y'all be very careful. I'm gonna do this one. Bonnie Raitt did this on her last album, and she did it. It's a friend of mine named Randall Bramlett out of Athens, Georgia. He was Steve Winwood's sideman for about 20 years, and played with the Allman Brothers. He's played with Chuck Leavell, Chuck Leavell is a keyboard player right now for the Rolling Stones. Has been for 20-something years. I opened for Chuck in 1978 in Macon, Georgia. And I've known these folks for so long. Ultimate piano players, no doubt. Truly. He played with Clapton, he's played with the Allman Brothers, he's played with everybody. These are the hometown guys, that I get to be around. Bonnie Raitt did this in our last album. You ought to pick it up. It's a great album. Randall Bramlett used to rule the world. I love y'all. Thank y'all for coming tonight.
Doctor feel good, sleeping on a concrete bench. Hannah, can I get a witness? Miss South Carolina, 1975. Somebody stole your crown. You were sleeping in your happy home. When you woke up, baby, your life had come and gone. Now you're mystified down with the rest of us who used to rule the world. Brother Lovejoy, wrapping up a blue streak. Can I get a witness? Miss Hurricane can't keep her hands still long enough to count your change. You were wrapped up in your daily grind. The cost of living never even crossed your mind. Now you're mystified down with the rest of us who used to rule the world. Who used to rule the world. Mr. Blueprint used to have it figured out. Now you can't find your car. Miss Cocktail dressed standing at the bathroom sink, looking for a back way out. Everything, you can't believe your eyes. Everything you were counting on was nothing but a pack of lies. Now you're mystified down with the rest of us who used to rule the world. Who used to rule the world. Who used to rule the world. Doctor feel good, sleeping on a concrete bench. Can I get a witness? Miss South Carolina, 1975. Somebody stole your crown. You were sleeping in your happy home. When you woke up, baby, you had life had come and gone. Now you're mystified down with the rest of us who used to rule the world, who used to rule the world, who used to rule the world. Thank y'all so much. All right, be careful going home. I hope to see you again. Thank y'all.